Hey guys, how's it going? I will be reacting to Bleacher Report's every NBA team's biggest X factor so far this season. For the Hornets, obviously, because I'm a Hornets super fan, I think it's most likely LaMelo. I think that's a that's a fair choice to do. But yeah, we're gonna see every NBA team. Some teams I haven't caught up on like ever this season, so we'll check it out and let's get right into it. So it looks like it's alphabetical again. The Atlanta Hawks, DeAndre Hunter. Do I think DeAndre Hunter's an X factor? For his defense, maybe. Trae Young is probably would be mostly everybody's X factor for the Hawks. Because without Trae Young, what would they be? A bottom five team? So yeah, next Boston Celtics, Kemba Walker. Kemba's been bad, man. I can't say it any other way. Tatum and Brown have been all stars, and Walker has he been the third best player for them? Like, or is it is it Peyton Pritchard? So yeah, that he has not been good. But if he can get back to all-star level activity and putting up over 20 a game, I think he can be their X factor, and I think that'll take him a long way. Brooklyn Nets, Jeff Green. I love this. I love this X factor pick because Jeff Green, man. I mean, you think about Harden, Kyrie, Durant, even Joe Harris before you think of Jeff Green, but that he is their only real defensive player, man. He is the small ball five for their starting lineup, and yeah, he is a very big X factor for them. My Charlotte Hornets, man, of course, LaMelo Ball. We love to see it. Of course, he's the X factor, and only being 19 years old, he's come a long way, man. It's crazy to think that 3 years ago he was putting up like crazy high school numbers. Anyways, Chicago Bulls, Larry Marketing. I don't know much about the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, I think Zach LaVine would be a bigger X factor because say he puts up like 10 points per game over the next 15 games, they're gonna be not in a good place. Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland. I like the Cavaliers this season. I think Darius Garland had a really good start to the season, but he's kind of fallen off just a little bit. So yeah, he is a good X factor for them. Kristaps Porzingis is a very big X factor for the Mavericks. He's come back. He hasn't been good, but he hasn't been bad. He's been okay. So yeah, that is a great pick for an X factor because if he can get back to like borderline all-star, which he was at, and actually being a big, because believe it or not, being 7'3" Kristaps Porzingis, he just stands at the three-point line and he doesn't go in at all. And it's really annoying, and I bet it's really annoying to Mavs fans because they want him to post up like 6'6" players, but he just doesn't do that. So maybe he can turn it around, maybe not. Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray. Yeah, I love this pick again because you obviously know what you're getting out of Jokic. He's an MVP candidate right now. Jamal Murray, if he can be bubble Jamal Murray, man, the Nuggets are gonna be good for the playoffs. Detroit Pistons, Sekou. That's interesting. I haven't obviously watched much Detroit Piston basketball, but what I do know is that they've only beat like good teams, and they're 8-20. Let me look it up. Yeah, they've only been what good. Yeah, they're 8-20. Sekou, I do not know much about him, so I can't give give good insight. Golden State Warriors, this is obvious for Draymond Green. He's been their X factor since like 2014, 2015. Houston Rockets, DeMarcus Cousins. This is another one of the teams that I have not paid much attention to, but obviously Christian Wood is injured, so Cousins has to pick up the slack somehow. And yeah, that I'd say is an X factor. Indiana Pacers with Jeremy Lamb, former Charlotte Hornet, so I got to give him some respect. I did have him on my fantasy basketball team. I don't know if he's still there, but he's been okay. He averages 26 minutes per game. He's pretty much 50-40-90. So yeah, I think he's a fine player for them. I don't know if I'd call him an X factor over Sabonis. I think TJ McConnell is a better X factor than him, if I'm being honest. But all right, let's move on. The Clippers with Paul George. For the Clippers, an X factor. For the Clippers, an X factor for me would be Baca. If he can put up good numbers for them, and I think I know what you're getting out of George and Kawhi. That's why I think it should be someone else. Anyways, like for the Lakers, they wouldn't say LeBron or AD because you know what they're getting out of them. So why would you say Paul George for the Clippers? I guess for the playoffs, you don't know what you're getting out of Paul George. For Dennis Schroeder for the Lakers, yep. For being their sole point guard, I know Alex Caruso is a point guard, but for being their only decent point guard, yeah, I guess I'd call him an X factor. Kyle Anderson for the Grizzlies is a great pick. Kyle Anderson has been super efficient, man. He doesn't score a lot most games, but he gives you mostly everything. He's like a Draymond type, man. This guy's a young Draymond. Tyler Hero for the Miami Heat, overrated player. In my opinion, he's been hyped up to be the next. I saw this one article, man. It was a poll, and it was like, would you rather have the number 1 pick in the draft or Tyler Hero? And 64% of the people who answered that poll, guess what they said? Tyler fucking Hero. Yeah. This man, he is an X factor because if you get bubble Tyler Hero, your team's going to be in a good position. Milwaukee Bucks, Dante DiVincenzo. I think Drew Holiday is a bigger X factor because he's more impactful. If they're getting the Drew Holiday that was the Drew Holiday last year, was he an All-Star last year? I'm not sure. But yeah, I guess DiVincenzo is okay, but I would rather pick Drew Holiday as a true X factor. The Timberwolves, we're going to skip them because they are trash this season, so it doesn't even matter what their X factor is. Anthony Edwards has been a dog, though. I've seen his highlights. I've seen his box scores. He's been pretty good, man. Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the Pelicans. I guess they have like 17 point guards on their team, so I guess one of them has to be an X factor. Emmanuel Quickley for the Knicks. Yeah, he's been pretty good off the bench, especially for the 25th overall pick. I was just gonna say I saw a CBS Sports saying that he has a D- like draft grade, which is it's pretty hard to judge what they're gonna be. Just off the draft and their college career, but yeah, this CBS Sports reporter is down bad for saying that because Emmanuel Quickley has been super good this year, man. Yeah. Anyways, Diallo for the Thunder. I just combined the two names. Yeah, for the Thunder, they're just a rebuilding team, so okay. Cole Anthony, yeah, for the Orlando Magic. Is he not injured? I thought he was injured. But I feel bad for Magic fans, man. I'm about an hour away from Orlando right now. And yeah, there's not much talk in Florida about the Orlando Magic. It's usually on Miami, but I just feel bad. They got so many injuries. They just can't catch a break. 76ers, Ben Simmons. Yeah, he's been playing super good with Embiid on and off the floor. So, yeah, that's a pretty good X factor. DeAndre Ayton, this is a perfect X factor because Chris Paul is going to be Chris Paul. Devin Booker, he's been less efficient this year, but he's still Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton has to be more assertive, man. He just has to be. They did not draft him 1 overall to be averaging 10 points a game. Like, he is good enough to put up 20 and 10 like every game. Gary Trent Jr. for the Blazers. Yeah, Gary. Portland Trail Blazers fans, you got to stop with the talk about trading C.J. McCollum because you believe in Gary Trent Jr. more than him. CJ was going to be an all-star this year, and you got to put respect on his name. But I do like Gary Trent. Marvin Bagley the third. I'm surprised he hasn't been traded yet. I guess you can call him an X factor because his potential is still up there, man. But I think he's gonna get traded, and there hasn't been much talk about a trade, but with everything that's happened, I think he's gonna get traded. Keldon Johnson. I love me some Keldon Johnson, man. Pause. But the Spurs, they're at a weird position right now because they're not in serious playoff contention, and they're never going to be a contender in the next 2 years. I'm sorry, Spurs fans. But they're just chilling right now. DeMar's been good. Keldon Johnson has been great. He's been one of the most surprising players that I've seen this year. Chris Boucher for the Raptors. Haven't watched much Raptors. I heard they got out of their slump that they were in at the start of the year. Chris Boucher's been good off the bench. I think he should be starting over who'd they pick up? That bald guy. God, I should know his name. He played for the Suns. Aaron Baines. I just had to read it off there. Bojan, yep. I think they would have beaten the Nuggets last playoffs if they had their 20-point per game score. And Bojan. Anyways, they've been off to a hot start, man. What are they? 17-5, something like that. I don't know, but they've been pretty good. Wizards. It's not like it really matters in Russell Westbrook. I would like to see him get. I'm sorry, Wizards fans, but I would like to see Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal get traded. I don't think the Wizards deserve either one of them. I think they should just finish for Russell Westbrook. I think he should just finish his career off strong with not a contender, but like playoff contender. Because although the Wizards have been good in their last like 5 games or 7 games, they're not going to be good long haul. And he has 2 years left on his contract. I wouldn't waste it with the Wizards. But yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Also, it took me to the end of the video to even talk about this, but we hit 300 subscribers. And I don't know why I just thought of it right now, but thank you. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. And we are now on the road to 400 subscribers. So I'll see you guys later.